Shepherds division this week. Martin Allen on facing one of his former mentors, and Ken Oram on his role in Cheltenham Town's youth setup. First up is manager Martin Allen, who will be facing John Still, the Dagenham manager, who helped Allen get back into football.
Been looking forward to it since our good performance at Darlington, and obviously them being top of the league leaders, best team in the league, it's a real challenge for us, and a chance to put ourselves up against a good side and test ourselves.
Do you have a lot of respect for what John Still's done at Dagenham?
Massive respect. He works on a shoestring budget, and he's been a good friend of mine for a long time. I was a gardener a few years ago, and I met him on a course when I was out of work, and he invited me along to Barnet to help me occupy my time. And I remember I was doing 6 in the morning till 8:30, collecting leaves and doing people's gardens, and then driving to Barnet, taking their sessions. And he let me take the work with their first team squad and squad players, and he was fantastic, and I learned an awful lot from him. He's a very kind man. He's a real leader, and he's done a fantastic job there. Have
injuries over the past fortnight had a bigger impact on your squad than you might have envisaged?
No, when you lose good players, Shane Duff, Michael Pook and Elvis Hammond through the middle of the pitch, doesn't help. But I've got a good squad, and the performance last week at Darlington proved that. We were a bit short perhaps on Tuesday night, but overall when the players are all fit, they give a good account of themselves.
Have you got anybody back for Saturday?
Don't know at the moment.
Too early to say.
Well, I do know, but I'm not telling you. The team will stay private, and right up to the kick-off. This is a big game for us. We've prepared well this morning, and we're taking on the league leaders. It's a tough game.
Will Sam Cox be involved, having come in from Spurs?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see till Saturday.
Okay.
I do know, but I'm not telling you.
You're obviously very angry after Tuesday, but...
Not now.
No, not now. You calmed down a bit in the last couple of days, but I mean, have you warned players that, as you said to us after the game, if they turn out performance like that, it could be the last chance for them? Have you sort of told them, have you given any ultimatums out since Tuesday?
No, I've done a little chat after the game. It didn't take too long, to be honest, in the dressing room, and also had one at half time that didn't take too long. So I think most people that played in that game are well aware of my feelings and my thoughts, and now we'll see how they respond. But I was upset and I was disappointed and I was angry, yeah. We had about 1,200 of our supporters, who probably are the die-hard supporters, the proper supporters of this club. And it wasn't good enough for those people. It certainly wasn't good enough for me, and I don't like that. I don't enjoy that, and I don't come to work for that sort of performance. And for some of those young players, they've got to step up.
You had a bit of praise for Barry Hales and Julian Alsop after the game, and Julian's obviously doing well and he's coming on in games. Is it too much to ask him to start a game at the moment, do you think? Is he?
Yeah, he's probably too much to ask of him to start the game. He certainly wouldn't last 90 minutes. But it's an option.
And he's just signed on for another month a couple of weeks ago. Is it still going to be month to month?
A lot was made of that. Julian Alsop's here till Christmas. I said I'd look at his position after Christmas. I don't have to keep going through month to month crap. He's staying here till Christmas and early New Year, and then we'll review the position financially. We'll review the position of what other players are available. He knows that, I know that, and I went public at the time of doing it. So that's the situation with Julian, and he's doing fine for us.
And has he had the influence off the field that you hoped he would, as well as on it?
Yeah, he's a good lad. He's good in the dressing room, good around the place. I just know his character and know what he's like, and same with Barry Hales. They're both infectious enthusiasm. You see the way they played the other night in the second half. Crikey, those two are nearly 80 years old between them, and that's the enthusiasm I have every day when I come to work, and that's what you expect from everybody. But it's our job to get that out of them, and if we don't get it out of them, it's our job to get rid of them.
Ken Oram, sheep hair. I used to live with him for 2 years. The most tidiest person I've ever met in my life, but got a good heart. So.
Okay, can you tell me a bit about your role at the club, what you actually do sort of behind the scenes? And
Yeah, currently head of youth. Started off, I think it's the 7th season now I've been here. Came initially just to help Brian Forsberg coordinate the Centre of Excellence. Moved up to Centre of Excellence manager, and then when Brian retired back in November time last year, was appointed head of youth. So we now look over the whole system from under 8 through to the under 18 programme, and work closely with John Bruffett, with the youth team. Don't coach the youth team, but just work on a daily basis with John.
the youth team, the Centre of Excellence, set up in '99 when the team got in the league, wasn't it? Has it been in the same sort of format since then, or did it change a bit?
Yeah, it's changed. The games programme has slightly changed. At the time, it was an under 17s and under 19s programme with junior age groups from 15 downwards. It then went through to a change to 9s to 16s with an under 18 side. And initially, there was only sort of 60 odd boys from under 15s, under 14s upwards, and then it was recruited back down to under 9s. So in the early years, there was a big mass recruitment of boys into the system from local clubs, mainly Cheltenham and Gloucester sort of base teams, a bit further afield into Worcester. So the quality initially wasn't, I would say, to be fair, it wasn't outstanding. We had to work hard to get sort of staff qualified and the right types of players and get a recruitment structure and policy in place. So slowly now it's the foundation's there, and we're now seeing 1 or 2 boys coming through to the first team, like Carl and Marley Watkins and Jack Durant, who've turned pro. You've always had the older ones who've always been there, the Birdies, Gallagher, who came through late, Adam Connolly when he had a little bit of football, and Michael Wild, but hopefully now we're going to be able to sort of produce players who are going to sustain careers with this club and on to a bit further into professional football.
A great tribute for the youth system that Jamie Edge just moved on to Arsenal, and he was in here right from the under 9s right through to under.
He was one of the first to be recruited under 9s in that age group. I think there's only one other lad who's from that under 9s group in the under 16s this year. But great for the system that Jamie had the ability to step up and beyond with a good contract with a fantastic club. But also for the coaching staff, we've had a role all the way through the system, from the initial recruitment through to the 5 or 6 guys who've coached him through that age group. It speaks a lot of the continuity which we're trying to develop with the coaching staff. But also for the boys who are in the system, and for a lad to come out of Gloucestershire to go to a big club via our system is great, and it'll help when we're looking to reinvesting and recruiting players in the system as well. You don't have to go an hour and a half away to be able to get to the very highest clubs. You can have a good schooling with us. We do have a policy that should clubs be interested in our players, we will speak to parents and the player, and if it's right and if it fits in with the board's business plan, which is where our business plan sort of stems from, then it might be right for a player to move. And with Jamie, financially, it was a good business for us to let him go, but most importantly, good for the player, that he has the opportunity of pursuing his career at a higher level.
Yeah, Martin Allen said it could go up to $1 million if everything goes according to plan. I mean, is it?
With any deal, we've sat down with a couple of clubs now. We've got one who's possibly going to join another Premier League club as well, and the process is you sit down and agree an initial fee based on the development time you spent with them. So it'll be a couple of years if it's they've been in for a short period, or if it's with Jamie, who's been with us 7 or so seasons. You agree a compensation based on the development time you've had with them. You then secure, should he progress and develop any further with them. So there's a clause with Jamie that when he signs a scholarship, we get an amount of money. We get an additional amount of money when he signs a pro contract. Should he get international honours at 17s, 19s, 21s, and then leading into full cap as well. Plus, obviously, making debut at Arsenal. So with add-ons, yes, it can be significant. Whether that happens or not, we had with Jamie Price when he left us and went to Birmingham. We only got the first sort of 2 or 3 stages of his initial transfer. But should a player go on to progress, then you do get some money for them. Plus, you also get some money should they then be sold. You get an excess amount as well above the original transfer. So, and that's just the business side of what we do. We've got to safeguard the future of this club, and that's why should good players develop with us, then longer term we can benefit quite significantly from it.
Unfortunately, due to Tuesday night's shambolic 3-1 defeat by Torquay, no players are available to speak to the media. So that's it. This is John Palmer, Robin's Division at Season Training Ground.